How's it going, guys? Let's talk Lions for a moment. They've released their squad to play the First Nations and Pacifica on Tuesday, UK, and they've really done a really rotated squad here. So I want to break it down. Please like, subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And let's get into it. So, looking at the squad, there's a lot of changes. We've also seen some players that have been called in, like Darcy Graham, that are making their first start for the Lions. You know. This is going to be a good game. This is also going to be a game that allows other players to rest, allows other players to get a bit of game time as well. So looking at the squad, we have Bielam, Jamie George, who is also called in, and then Pierre Skuman, which I think this is probably going to be the closest he is going to end up getting to starting this tour again. Otherwise, in terms of the tests, I can't see him starting over the likes of Porter or Genge. Jamie George, and then Bielam, pretty much same thing over Will Stewart and Ty Furlong. I do feel Finley Bielam, no matter the performances that he did put in, I thought he put in spectacular performances. I do feel he is still third choice. We are then seeing James Ryan and then Scott Cummings coming in. I do really like Scott Cummings at 5. I think he had a brilliant tour so far. Whenever he's been played, he's done his job. He's done exactly what's been needed of him. And yeah, and then the back row, we got Jack Morgan, Van der Fleer, and then Henry Pollock again at 8. Lovely to see Henry Pollock back in. Jack Morgan, he needs to be starting an Australia tour. He just really needs to be starting. He is so good. I think he's going to be putting in another dominant performance. But yeah, we have Morgan, Van der Fleer, Pollock, and then Ben White at 9, Finn Smith at 10, a new partnership. Lovely to see how this is going to work out. Finn Smith, he's going to have to put himself a very good performance if he does want to have any shot of starting the for any of the tests, especially considering how well Finn Russell is playing. Then wingers, we have Darcy Graham at 14, Duhan van der Merwe at 11. Again, very big, strong Darcy Graham. He's very quick, just recently been brought in as well. Going to be interesting to see how he plays as a line. He hasn't exactly had much time to be, to have joined up with the squad to get things going. It's lovely to see him getting a shot. Obviously giving Tommy Freeman a bit of time. Mac Hansen, I believe he's still recovering from that little knock that he had. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But what I'm actually quite interested in is Jamie Osborne at 13, Owen Farrell at 12, and Owen Farrell is coming in as captain, um, which I was actually quite surprised at. Looking at some of the players, I would have thought maybe even Jamie George coming in as captain, but no, Owen Farrell has come in as captain, starting at 12, and then Jamie Osborne at 13. Kind of expecting him a little bit at 15, but we do have Blair Kinghorn. There's no way I'm choosing anybody over Blair Kinghorn at 15. Then looking at the bench, we have Ewan Ashman, Rory Sutherland, Tom Clarkson, Gregor Brown, Ben Earl, Alex Mitchell, Marcus Smith, and then Gary Ringrose. So they got a lot of experience on the bench. They got a lot that they can change up. They got a lot that they can really bring on if things get a bit tough. I mean, such when you have the likes of Gary Ringrose, who is a monster center, that will only cause disruption when he does come on. But not only that, having the likes of Tom Clarkson, potentially coming in, big, strong, heavy hitter. But even then, the same thing can be said for Ewan Ashman. I think we probably will end up seeing Ben Earl at just after half time, potentially replacing Henry Pollock, depending on how well he's been playing. But the nice thing about these players is they can play all around that back row. So we could even see Henry Pollock move to either the 7 or the 6, and then have Ben Earl come in at the 8. But yeah, I think there are players here that are going to need to be putting in performances. Alex Mitchell, he is going to be putting in a big, solid performance. I think he's been relatively consistent throughout the tournament, but he needs to improve. He needs to get better, especially if he wants to gain that shot over Jameson Gibson Park, who that's not an easy player to try and compete with. But otherwise, I think this is pretty strong. It adds, a lot of speed. It adds strength as well. But I think what they're going to end up going for is they're going to want to pressure the First Nations and Pacifica as hard as physically possible. They're going to want to pressure them. They want to stop making them make mistakes. And then they're going to capitalize using the engine of your Pollock, Van der Fleer, to start getting those turnovers, using the likes of your James Ryan and Scott Cummings, who Scott Cummings, I believe, is a brilliant line-out caller. He's brilliant. And yeah, we've got a lot of weight, we've got a lot of strength in the forwards. Sorry, in the front pack with Finley Bealham, Jamie George, Schoolman. Jamie George, he's an elite player, a legendary player, and he's one of the most experienced there. So he's going to be keeping everybody in check. BLM and Schoolman, hard hitters, again, very well experienced, but getting in their game time. It's very, very much getting in their game time. So, how this team is going to play, because there's been a lot of changes. A lot of these, I do believe, it is going to be because of rotation. They're going to want to be resting their. They're going to be wanting to rest their big players because, considering it's only a couple of days from them doing the first Australia test into the First Nations and Pacifica, you know, rest needs to be done. Players need to be kept sharp, and yeah, this is what's happening here. So I'm just quite surprised at Owen Farrell starting at 12 and still captaining. I mean, the guy is absolutely phenomenal, but I don't know. Uh, if there was going to be a captain, I would have said Jamie George, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of young talent here as well. Jamie Osborne 13, Darcy Graham 14, Henry Pollock 8. You know, I don't know. This is going to be interesting. I think the First Nations are going to be putting up a very physical test, but can they deal with the pressure? Can they deal with the pressure cooker that is Van der Fleer? You know, he hasn't been at the best top of his form, but this is definitely going to be a game to show, look, I deserve that spot, and to really start putting pressure on the other players if he wants any shot at starting a test. So let me know what your thoughts are. Please like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.